Hello students. So in biology, this is lecture number 3 we are going to discuss here. The third lecture. In the previous class, I was telling you about morphology of a flowering plant. Morphology refers to external appearance or external features of an organism, and flowering plants refers to angiosperms, you may be knowing. So in angiosperm typical plant, there will be root, stem, leaf, inflorescence, flower, then what is that, seed, fruit, like that various parts are present. We are going to discuss about each and every part in detail. In the previous class, I was talking about the root system. Otherwise, the root we have started in the previous class. You may be recalling some general characters of the root in the angiosperm. The roots are underground part of the plant body, you may be remembering. General characters, some of them may be aerial also. So generally the roots are underground part of the plant body. Generally they are brown in color because they do not have chloroplast in them. And the roots will not exhibit nodes, internodes and other buds and other things, it will not show. Apical bud will be there, but no, there won't be other type of growing tips like growing buds like that. In addition to that, the root, it will be not undergoing any photosynthetic function also. Generally, the roots are underground part, you have to remember. Then I told you about functions of the root system or root also. Main function of the root is to give anchorage to the plant body. Anchorage in the sense fixation of the plant into the soil. So the plant has to stand erect, means that must be fixed into the soil. For that fixation, we need the root system. Secondly, the roots are able to absorb water and minerals from the surrounding soil actually, and give that water and minerals to the soil. That is another function we can say. Thirdly, the root will be involved in storage of food materials also. And even fourth function I told you was they are able to undergo sometimes asexual reproduction also. Apart from this, you must know one point, the roots are able to produce phytohormones also. They are able to produce phytohormones. You might have heard about these words, phytohormones, like auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, like that. So root tip is able to produce some of the hormones in it. That hormones from the root, they will be carried to the different parts of the plant body. Through xylem, phloem, like the various tissues will transport that phytohormones. So this is the fifth function you can remember related to the root system. It is fixation into the soil, absorption of water and minerals, storage of food like that, asexual reproduction, and in addition to that they produce phytohormones also. Let us come to the next part of this root system here. Remember, the root, there are different types of roots present in the angiosperms. The flowering plants have different types of root system. So I am going to explain you about types of root system in this condition here. Okay, types of root system we are going to see. What is meant by system or root system means? It is not only meaning of the root but associated structures with the root also. They are together. All those things are together called as system or root system we can see. For example, digestive system we tell means it is not only one alimentary canal. In addition to that, there will be several glands and other things associated with it. So system means a group of something. Here also root system means a root will not be having only the root in it, otherwise there will be some other associated structures also. About those root system, we are going to study. Remember, in angiosperms, there are three major types of root system we have to understand. There are three types of root system present in angiosperm. The first one is known as taproot system, we can say here. Okay? Taproot system. That is the first type of system we have to understand here. What is meant by taproot system, or what is the speciality of this taproot system means? This type of root system will be mainly present in dicot plants only. So dicot plants, they are having taproot system. You must be knowing about dicot and monocot depending upon their cotyledon. What is cotyledon? The word cotyledon refers to seed leaf, we can say. That means in the seed structure, whether they have two leaves or one leaf, that is called cotyledon. Dicot plants will be having taproot system. About the dicot plant, we will study later. Okay, I will tell you some examples and how they are differentiated, everything. So dicot plants are exhibiting the taproot system mainly. What is the structure of this one? Taproot system means, remember, in the taproot system, there will be the soil present here means, above the soil there is a stem of the plant present here. So this is the stem of the plant, we can say. The stem of the plant, it will be extending downwardly into the soil like this. The stem will be extending downwardly into the soil as a single, projection. This single projection present below the soil, it is known as primary root of the root system, or it is called primary root, we can say. That is called primary root. This primary root inside the soil, it is the main part of the root system here. This primary root will produce further branches like this into the soil. Why there must be branches means, in order to fix firmly into the soil, as well as in order to absorb more nutrients from the soil, they will produce some more branches. The branches of the primary root, they are called as secondary root, we can say. That is known as secondary root, remember. So there is a primary root and there is a secondary root. Secondary roots may further produce some more minute branches. Again, in order to get efficient absorption of water and minerals. Those branches of the secondary roots are there, they are called as tertiary root, we can say here. So that is called as tertiary root. So remember students, the main branch of the root or main extension of the stem below the soil is called primary root. Primary root will produce further branches, they are called secondary root. Secondary root will produce further branches, they are called tertiary root. Like this, if there are a group of organs, if the root system can be further differentiated into primary, secondary and tertiary roots means, then it will be called as what? Taproot system. So what is the main point about taproot system? In taproot system, there will be differentiation of primary, secondary and tertiary branches. If we are able to differentiate primary, secondary and tertiary roots, then it will be belonging to which system? Taproot system, we can say. Where do we find taproot system mainly? It is found in the dicot plants actually. Further point is, this taproot system also originate from radicle only. Radicle of the root I told you, from that radicle only this taproot system will originate. Especially primary root will originate from the radicle of the seed. Stem will be originating from the plumule, we can say here. Anyhow, this is regarding taproot system. 3-4 points you have to remember. First thing is taproot system can be found in dicot mainly. Second point is there will be an extension of a stem into the soil, that is called primary root. Primary root will produce some branches called secondary root. Secondary root will produce some branches called tertiary root. So, in a root system, if we are able to differentiate primary, secondary and tertiary roots, then it will be called as what? Taproot system. Where from it will originate? It will originate from the radicle mainly. So this is regarding taproot system. Do you get this point? In a 2-mark question, it can be asked. Write a note on taproot system like that. Okay. Let us come to the second point. Second type of root in the angiosperm we are going to see. It is known as fibrous root system, we can say. Second point is called fibrous root system. I told you about a taproot system found in dicots. Now, where do we find a fibrous root system? What are the characters of a fibrous root system? Let me rub this primary root. Anyhow, I will write it here. In the case of fibrous root system, we can see the fibrous root system in the monocots mainly. Dicots are exhibiting taproot system, whereas monocots are exhibiting fibrous root system. What is the speciality of monocot or fibrous root system means? Here also the soil is here. Imagine there is a stem present above the soil, but what happens means this stem of the monocot will not extend further downwardly. It will not go down as a primary root as we have seen in the dicots. They will simply stop here itself, they won't grow further. Then how they will produce the root system means from that simple end, stem end only, we can get many bunches of roots arising like this. Imagine this point. There will be bunches of roots originating from the base of the stem. Those bunches or group of roots, they cannot be differentiated into primary, secondary and tertiary roots. So, in fibrous root system, there is no primary, secondary and tertiary roots. These are absent. But here these are present. What is the main difference between taproot and fibrous root? In taproot system, you can differentiate primary, secondary and tertiary root. In fibrous root system, we cannot differentiate which is primary, which is secondary, which is tertiary. We cannot differentiate. If such differentiation is absent, then it will be called as a fibrous root system. Do you get this point? Another difference I told you is, while taproot system could be found in dicots, fibrous root system could be found in monocots only. And this fibrous root system also originate from the radicle only. Radicle of the monocot will produce the fibrous root system. Students, you may be remembering the example for dicot and monocot plants also. For dicots, best example you can remember is mustard plant, you can remember. Beans plant, you can remember. Beans or pea plant like that, they are all coming under dicot. What about monocots? You may be knowing the different type of cereal plants, cereals, they are coming under monocots. Like wheat, we can say, jawar, we can say, and even paddy, we can say. Sugarcane is the best example for these monocots. If you take the wheat plant or jawar plant, pluck it and see means, you can see many branches of the roots like this. They cannot be differentiated into primary, secondary and tertiary. So remember, this is the diagram for taproot and this is the diagram for fibrous root. Remember this point. Where do we see the fibrous root? In the monocot plant. Where do we see the taproot system? In the dicot plant. So I told you about two types of root system so far. Where in angiosperm we are studying about morphology of angiosperm. In that, there are three types of root system. First one is taproot, second one is fibrous root. 4 point or 3 points you can remember. You have to remember the diagram also. Basic diagrams are there. Just to recall the point. Even I told you some examples for dicot and monocot. Please make note of this. I will tell you about third type of root system here. Okay? Third type. Okay, you might have recalled taproot and fibrous root system. Let me continue about the third type of root system in the angiosperm. Third type. So taproots we have seen, fibrous roots we have seen. Taproots are found in dicot, fibrous roots are found in monocots, remember. Let me come to the third type of root system here. Listen. Let me rub this. Listen. The third type of root system is known as adventitious root system, it can be called. Adventitious root system. Remember the spellings properly. Adventitious root system, it can be called. This adventitious root system can be found in both monocots and dicots also. Some of the monocots and some of the dicots will be exhibiting this type of root system. Of course, taproot system, majority of the dicots will exhibit taproot system only. Some exception will exhibit adventitious. Majority of the monocots will exhibit fibrous root system only. Some exception will exhibit adventitious root system. What is this adventitious root system means? The roots arising from any part of the plant other than radicle. Remember this point. The roots, I will write it here, roots arising from any part of the plant body. Any part of the plant body, other than, okay, other than radicle. Other than radicle, that will be called as, what is that? Adventitious root system. Instead of radicle, except radicle, if any other part of the plant body give rise to roots means, that will be called as adventitious root, we can say. For example, you could have come across some type of roots arising from the nodes of the plant. There are plants called climbers, you have to remember. Those climbers will be having a weak stem in them. Like what is that? Beetle plant we can say, jasmine plant, pumpkin and all we can say here. They will be having weak stem. This weak stemmed plant will be having the nodes like this. These are called nodes. Between the node there is a place called as internode. Now remember students, from the nodes if roots are arising like this, not from the base, They are arising from the nodes like this means. Why they must be producing the roots from the node means that is for support, we can say, because they are weak stemmed plant. They will grow upon a support only. For example, grapevine, you may be remembering, grapes plant, you know that, they will be going over the support. Such roots are helpful for holding the support, we can say. Even you might have seen this in the pepper also. Piper nigrum, we are telling, pepper like that. In these plants, adventitious roots are originating. They do not originate from the radicle. So they originate from any part of the plant body other than radicle. Such a root system will be called as what? Adventitious root. What is the example for this? I told you already. Grape plant or grape wine, we are telling. VINE. Okay, remember this point. Not only this one, even adventitious roots, they can originate in the case of sugar cane also. From the node like that, we can come across these things. Beetle plant, okay, they will be giving rise to this, what is that, adventitious roots. Pepper has got this adventitious root. In them, nodes will give rise to roots, not radicle. If radicle give the root, it may be a taproot or fibrous root system. In any other part, if root arises, it will be called adventitious roots. So what is the purpose of adventitious root? Functions of adventitious root means, why sir they must produce the adventitious root means? They do not help for mainly fixation and other things, but they will be helping for climbing of the plant over the support, we can say, climbing. They may be helping for absorption of moisture absorption from the atmosphere, we can say, that is done by these things. Even in the sugar cane and all, these adventitious roots are helping for support, we can say. About this sugar cane and other things, I will tell you again in the later part of this lesson. So remember, that is adventitious root system. Where do we find adventitious root system? Both in monocots and dicots. But other than most of the dicots are exhibiting taproot, except a few dicots. Most of the monocots are exhibiting fibrous root, except some monocot. These plants may have taproot system below the soil, but above that, they may show some climbing support and other things also. This is called adventitious root system. So how many types of root systems are there in angiosperm? There are 3 types. One is taproot system, second one is fibrous root system, third one is adventitious root system. Taproots, majority of the dicot, arising from the radicle. They can be differentiated into primary, secondary and tertiary roots. Fibrous root, monocot, majority of the monocot. They are arising from the radicle, but they cannot be differentiated into primary, secondary and tertiary parts. But adventitious roots are not arising from radicle. Then where from they arise? They arise from any other part of the plant body. So any other part of the plant body except radicle produce the root means such a root will be called as adventitious roots. Why they should be produced? They should be produced for climbing purpose, for support, for absorption of nutrient or moisture actually. They can grow on other plant also as parasite. So such roots are called adventitious roots. Example for dicot I told you. Example for monocot I told you. Examples for adventitious root exhibiting plants also we have seen. So this is types of root system. Make note of adventitious root. I will continue. Okay, students. Listen. Regarding the root, we have seen general characters, main functions of the root system, types of root system. 3 points, three more question like that we have discussed. Now, I am going to tell you about the fourth point related to the root system in angiosperm. This fourth point is about regions of the root we are going to see here. Regions of the root system or main parts of the root system we are going to discuss. It is an important point which can be asked in 5 mark question as well as in NEET and competitive exams there will be questions based on regions of the root also. Remember, there can be 3 major regions observed in the root system mainly. What are them? I will tell you later. Listen to me. Imagine now, this is the main primary root. We are going to see here the primary root of this taproot system. Let us imagine. Of course, above this there is a stem and it is present below the soil. This is the root we are talking, taproot system. In this root, we can come across 3 major parts, 3 major regions we can find out. Remember, in this diagram, let us consider this is the tip of the root system, tip of the root. The tip is otherwise known as apex of the root, it can be called. This is called apex or tip. This part of the root is there, no? That is known as base of the root, we can say. This is not base. This is the base. This is the tip. Because the tip only is going to penetrate into the soil. Tip is helpful for penetrating into the soil. That tip, this is called the tip of the root. This is called the base of the root. Do you main point? Remember. Between these 2 parts, 2 areas, we can differentiate 3 regions actually. In any typical taproot, how many parts, how many regions you can see? 3 regions. This is not primary, secondary and tertiary. This is the region of a simple root I am telling here. Before going in detail about these 3 areas, 3 regions, remember one simple point. The tip of the root is there, no? The apex of the root. It is always protected by a cap-like structure here actually. This tip of the root is protected by a cap-like structure here. This is the root tip. It is protected by a cap-like structure actually. So this cap-like structure, no, it is called as root cap, we can say. That is called root cap. This root cap is otherwise known as thimble-like structure we are telling. Thimble-like. That means something like a finger-like structure which will be protecting the root tip here. This root tip is otherwise protected by root cap. Remember. Why this root cap should be present in a plant, what is that, root system? What is the function of this root cap means? Root cap is helpful, or this thimble-like structure is helpful for protecting the root tip, protection to the root tip we can see. Why they should be protected? When the root tip is penetrating into the soil, they may face some friction. When root is penetrating into the soil, they may face some friction with the soil particle. Sand particle will damage this root tip. To avoid that damage, they are provided with a protection called root cap, remember. So at the tip of the root, what do you see? A root cap you are seeing. Tip of the root is otherwise called what? Apex of the root. So apex is protected by a root cap, remember. Inside that or in the root tip, we can come across one more area here. There is an area at the tip of the root here. This area will be containing lots of meristematic cells in this area. Remember this point. There are many meristematic cells present inside or in the tip of the root. That is known as meristematic region, it can be called. This area is called as what? Meristematic region. Do you get my point? What is meant by meristematic region? This part. That is called as meristematic. Meristematic region. Remember. What is the speciality of meristematic region? This region will be containing rapidly dividing cells actually. Cell division will be more in this area. They will contain cells which are rapidly dividing. Those cells will divide by mitosis and they will produce more and more new cells. Such a division of cells, such a region of root which is containing rapidly dividing cells is known as meristematic region. Remember the spelling meristematic. Meristematic tissue. Okay, just remember this point. Meristematic tissue, it can be called. What is the function of meristematic tissue? It is the rapid cell division, fast cell division. More and more cell division will be happening in this meristematic region. They divide by mitosis mainly, not meiosis. Mitotic division will be taking place here. If you take those cells and analyze them further, those meristematic cells, they will be thin-walled in nature. They contain thin cell wall in them. And in addition to that, they will be having dense protoplasm or dense cytoplasm in them. Remember this point. So they are thin-walled cells with dense cytoplasm and they will be exhibiting rapid, otherwise fast cell division. These three characters are forming which region? Meristematic region. Where do you find meristematic region? It is present near the tip of the root or at the apex of the root. Not at the base. They are present at the tip of the root. So what is the first region? It is the meristematic region. Do you get my point? Next to that, above this meristematic region, there is another part of the root here. You can come across another part of the root in this case. This second part will be containing some elongated cells like this. Whatever new cells are produced by meristem, they will undergo enlargement. They will become bigger and they will start to occupy this second part. This is the second region. This is the first region. Up to this we can see. Now the second part is called as region of cell elongation, it can be called, or otherwise zone of cell elongation, it can be called. First region is called meristematic region. Second region is called as cell elongation zone, or otherwise cell elongation region, we can see. So what I am talking here, I am talking about regions of the root. If you take a typical taproot, you can come across three regions. At the tip, what region is present? Meristematic tissue. What is the speciality of meristematic cells? They are thin-walled, they have dense cytoplasm, and they can undergo rapid cell division. They will produce more and more cells by means of mitosis. Those newly produced cells will undergo some enlargement. They will become bigger. They will start producing various more cytoplasm and other things. That region will be called as cell elongation zone, or otherwise region of cell elongation. Remember, first region is meristematic tissue, second one is a region of cell elongation. What is the difference between these two things? Here there will be elongated cells with cytoplasm, nucleus, everything. Here there will be rapidly dividing cells. Here they don't divide much. They are simply enlarging. Growth is happening. Development is happening. They will develop into enlarged cells. That become the cell elongation region. Dear students, the third region present towards the base, the third part, above this part, the base, towards the base. This will be known as region of cell differentiation, we can say here. This is called as what is that? Region of cell differentiation. Third point I write here, cell differentiation region it can be called. I will explain what is called a cell differentiation. Now listen here. Region of cell differentiation. When cells are elongated, what happens to them further means they will undergo further modification called differentiation here. Because of that, the elongated meristematic cells will be differentiated into various tissues of the plant body in this area. They will be differentiated into various tissues. Remember this point. They will become the tissues of the plant body. What is meant by tissue? Parenchyma, you may be knowing. Collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem, like that. They will differentiate here. They will become the main root anatomy here. They will become the epidermis of the root, cortex of the root, stele of the root, like that they will modify. Such a modification is called what is that? Differentiation. Here elongation, here division, and here differentiation. Do you get my point? First thing is cell division. Second one is cell elongation. Third one is cell differentiation. Or otherwise, this region will be otherwise known as cell maturation region, it can be called. So the cells are becoming, the meristematic cells will become permanent tissues of the plant body here. Meristematic tissue is meant for cell division. But after cell division, they will undergo elongation. After elongation, they will become maturation. Due to maturation, what do we get? We get permanent tissues. What are the permanent tissue? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, like that. So they will become differentiated into various tissues of the plant body. Here comes one interesting point of the plant. Listen to me. In the root system, there are various parts of the root system. Now listen here. What happens in this region of cell differentiation means one more interesting event takes place. From this region of cell differentiation, we will get some unicellular projections also like this. There will be many projections, unicellular projections arising from this differentiation area. What are those unicellular projections means? They will be called as root hairs, we can say. They are called a root hair. In singular it is called a root hair, in plural they are called root hairs. One important point is root hair is unicellular in nature. unicellular only, they are not multicellular. So some of the cells will become root hair. Why sir? Why they must become root hair? Because they are ready for absorbing water and minerals. From the surrounding, you know already, this is present below the soil. From the soil, water and minerals will be absorbed by the root hair. Do you get my point? There is a difference between root cap and root hair. Root cap is meant for protection. Root hair is meant for absorption. So what is the function of root hair? It is unicellular and meant for absorption mainly. Remember the thimble-like structure helpful for protection to the root tip. Dear students, this is the tip, this is the base. Towards the tip, we use the word in textbook called proximal. Proximal to the tip, what is present? Meristematic tissue. Proximal means nearer. You have heard about structure of nephron, where you came across proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, like that and all. So what is the meaning of this word proximal? It refers to nearer. Nearer to the root tip, what is present? Meristematic region. Nearer to the meristematic region, what is present? Cell elongation. Nearer to the base, what is present? Cell differentiation. So there can be questions in competitive exam. Away from the root tip, you have cell differentiation, but proximal to the root tip, you are having meristem. Do you get my point? Away from the base, you are having meristem, but proximal to the base, you are having cell differentiation. So in today's class, I told you about 3 types of root system. Taproot system, fibrous root system, adventitious root system. Taproots are found in dicot. Fibrous roots are found in monocot. Adventitious are found in both the cases. What is the speciality of adventitious root? They do not arise from radicle. Okay. Then I told you about 3 regions of the root. Remember, there are 3 major regions in the root. Primary root. Towards the tip, root apex, we have region of meristem. Middle region is called cell elongation zone. Towards the base, we have region of cell differentiation. So, meristematic region, cell elongation region, cell differentiation region, like the 3 things are there. In addition to the 2 more parts I told you. One is called root cap, another one is called root hair. While root cap is protecting the root tip, root hairs are present in the root base. What is the function of cap? The root cap is meant for protection. What is the function of root hair? It is meant for absorption. Do you get my point? 5 points you have to remember. Meristematic area, cell elongation area, cell differentiation area, root cap and root hair. Remember. So let me stop with this today. In the next class, I will continue about further points. Modification of the root system we are going to discuss. Okay.